Hello and welcome to Techies, the podcast where technology becomes easy and accessible for everyone. I'm your host, Anand, and in today's episode, we're going to look at 6 tips for mastering the new Outlook. So let's get started. The first tip I have for you is how you can mark certain senders as favorites. So let's say you have a contact that you get emails from frequently and you'd like to get back to their emails quite frequently. So instead of going to search or just scrolling up and down and going through a long list of emails, what if you can just add them as favorites? So that's what you can do. If you went to the side menu here and click on add favorite and then add the person that you would like to add as your favorite email sender. So once you do that, you can then get back to the emails that they've sent to you by just clicking on their name here. And then all the emails that have come from them gets filtered down, and you can see that here. The second tip that I have for you is you can not only favorite people, but also you can favorite categories. Let's say you're working with categorizing emails. You do that for just organizing your emails or making search and finding information a little bit easier than otherwise. Is you can go here and click on add favorite and then add your favorite categories. So for example, if I had a category called blue category, I can just select that and then I can click on that to then filter emails by that category. So I show you this example here. I have a category called Power Platform. Basically, I've tagged emails that are of that category with that tag. And if I click here, then I can just select and show down all the emails that are from that category. Pretty neat. And the third feature that I have for you is how you can pin some emails so that they are always on top until you unpin them. So sometimes you want to do that because you want to get back to these emails quite frequently, or you want to keep them pinned for some time until you have acted upon them, but then you can release them or unpin them. So how you unpin an email is by just hovering over your mouse over the email, and then you can click on the pin icon, and that pins that email to your pinned list of emails. And you unpin that simply by clicking on unpin here. You can also right-click an email and pin or unpin email. So that's the other way to do it as well. The next tip I have for you is how you can quickly access your tasks and events for the day from your Outlook mailbox without leaving your email workflow. So for example, if you look at the top here, you will see a bunch of icons. And the one that I want you to look at now is the My Day icon. The My Day icon, when I click that, it opens up a side pane, and that shows you a couple of different tabs. One is the calendar tab, and the other one is the to-do tab. In the calendar tab, you will see today's date, and then any tasks that you have due today. And from here, you can quickly set reminders, or you can change due dates, etc., by right-clicking on them. Or once you complete these tasks, you can mark them as complete. So one of my tasks for today is to record this episode. So I'm actually marking it complete because I'm actually doing that. And the next thing I wanted you to take a look at is how you can easily take a look at all the events that are lined up for today. So if you have a meeting in some time, that shows up as a meeting that is happening soon. And you can click here and then join that meeting. Any past events are also shown here, and you can take a look at notes and recordings and things like that. You can get to them from directly here. And you can also categorize your meetings from here. So you can right click and then say categorize your meetings and then give them a category or tag them so they are organized. The to-do tab on the top here, when you click that, then you get to the list of tasks that you have set as things to do. And so you get to see them all here, and then you can right click and, for example, add them to today, or you can edit due dates, set reminders, all of that, and even block time in your calendar. So that then puts the item in your calendar. So the other good thing about having the site integration in Outlook on the web or the new Outlook is how you can easily drag and drop emails to your task list or your calendar. So for example, here, if I want to set a task for this particular email, I click over this email and then drag it and just drop it in the taskbar. So then it creates a task with that. And the next time I want to get to that task, I can click on the email, and that opens up that email from where I can get to see what actions I have to do for that particular task. So that's another very easy way to just drag and drop your email. And the same way you to create tasks. And the same way you can also drag and drop to create an event, and that opens up your calendar event scheduling window, pop-up window, and from there you can set an event to that email. Very easy to drag and drop. The other thing that you could also do with this integration is you can, for example, with an email selected, you can look at the detail of that email, and then you can select a text, for example. Yeah, and then you can also use this small pop-up that shows up from where you can also create tasks for that particular selected text, or you can even add a note. I'll come to that note in a bit. But the task feature that helps you, for example, sometimes you get actions mentioned in the email as, hey, at Anand, for example, and then you can you make sure that it's completed, or can you take over this task, and things like that. So from that, these things come in an email, and you can just simply select them and add them as tasks. So that puts them in the task list. So if I did that now, I will just show you. So there you go. Put that in the task. The fifth tip that I have for you is with this sidebar integration, you also have access to your OneNote. So if you just click on that OneNote or notebook icon there, then you'll get to see all your sticky notes and OneNote pages coming in from OneNote. And very quickly, you can add a sticky note here. Call John. Very quickly, you can add that right here. And this OneNote also gives you access to your pages from your OneNote book, which means you can access all of that as well here. You can quickly access your notes or pages from your OneNote directly from the sidebar integration here. Okay, the sixth and the last tip that I have for you is the ability to add additional time zones in your calendar. And this could be very handy, especially when you're working with people from different parts of the world and your colleagues are in different time zones, and you want to be able to schedule or be mindful of their times when you are calling for a meeting, etc. Very easily you can add time zones. So I just head to the calendar tab, and then if you look at my screen here on the calendar, I have 3 different time zones here. One is my time here, which is 12:45 right now. And then I work with colleagues from India, for example, and then I have their time zone here, and I know what time it is there. Very quickly, I can see that information, especially when I'm scheduling meetings. It's good for me to know that. And the way you add time zones or remove time zones from this UI is by simply right-clicking here, and you go to time zones, and then you say edit time zones, and you can add more time zones by clicking here and then putting in the time zone and then giving them a label. So that is a wrap for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for more tech tips and tricks in our next episode of Techies, where technology is made simple for everyone.